All right, guys, here we have it. Today we're gonna try something a little different. We're gonna play Paranormal HK. I want to see what this hype is all about. But before we do anything, you know me, guys. Options. We're gonna check a few things. Everything seems like it's set to very high, so I guess the best we're gonna be able to do here. Sound. I don't even know what this is. It don't seem like we have much volume settings, guys. So the music's gonna be loud. All right. Here we go. Let's get started. Wait, we can't even choose anything. Oh. Yeah, I want to start a new game. Alright, let's see what this game is all about right now.
Hello，歡迎嚟到逃出靈界點盂蘭節特別篇，我係……等陣先 ，cut， 有冇褪後啲？行得太埋啦，褪後啲啦。
What? What? Churros are amazing. Yes, they are, guys. All right, before we get more serious in this, let me grab a drink real quick, guys, and then we're going to continue. Wait, do you guys see the... Oh, you guys do. All right, let's figure out what's going on here. What the heck is going on here? What the heck is going on here? What was that? I just saw something. Well, yay, a subtitle game. Hey. Right. Okay. So S to stand back. What are we doing? I can't.
呢個角度得唔得？睇唔睇到隻手？係咪？好，咁我由頭開始啦。
Alright.
歡迎嚟到逃出靈界點盂蘭節特別篇，我係嘉偉。今晚我佩佩同阿琪會分成3組，挑戰以最快嘅速度行完呢條猛鬼街。期間除咗要解決複雜嘅謎題，仲可能會遇到一啲超自然嘅事。好啦，我已經準備好晒，唔講咁多，快啲跟住嘉偉一齊。吓？又壞？你仲用緊呢部機啊？咁我去揾線索先啦，等陣你嚟揾我啦。
Hold on, follow Kathy, guys. All right, before we get crazy with everything, first of all, I need to check something here. We need to turn the camera around again, guys. Give me 1 second. All right, so let's go ahead and get this webcam. I'm just going to transform it. We're going to the way, bam, bada boom, bada bang, looking good. All right, let's lock it up. All right, and then we need to see if let's see here. All right, let's try it. So right now it seems like we need to, we don't even have an options menu right here, guys. Nani, right? Subtitle game, it feels like it. You know what though? Sometimes these other countries do better than America, so let's find out. All right, guys, so it looks like we're moving around. I don't know, do we have a sprint? I don't know if we have a sprint. What the hell are we doing? Can't go through the door. That's out of the question there, guys. Let's continue looking around, see what else we got. Got some Japanese letters, or Chinese, Japanese, Koreanese, I don't know what it is, guys, but let's just keep moving here. Graphics are... Oh, flashlight. Little flashlight. Spooky. Okay. The environment's pretty nice. I'm liking the environment here. Wait, we grabbed it? Wow, this flashlight is not the best flashlight. We are not getting much light with this thing. Can you guys see the game really well? I think you guys should be able to see the game really well, right? I believe you guys should, which is perfect. Okay, this game is really dark though. Hold on. Dude, but I mean that's the way the game's supposed to be though. I can't sprint though. How do I run? Wait, oh, seize the crouch. Not left control. Okay. I don't know. X and Z does nothing. Q, E, R, T. No. Okay, maybe we're still like in the tutorial here, guys. Oh wow, that's I'm pretty sure we're gonna crouch in there. Let's see. We have a button. E's to interact. Need to find a switch. Well, yes. Yeah, I don't like that we can't run, but I'm gonna suck it up and just deal with it and hope that we have a really good game here, guys. All right, let's get moving. Yeah, I think we found a switch. All right. Oh, what the?
你下關嘅鎖匙啊！快啲跟我嚟啦！
Whoa. Kathy's in danger. Find her quickly. Oh my god, they took our Kathy. You know what that means, team? We're gonna go find her. Come here, Kathy. Where did you go? Where did Kathy go, guys? Oh, what the? What's going on? Shift to run? Oh, now we can run. Did you guys see that? Now we can actually run. Unbelievable. Okay, well, then we need to be careful. Oh. Oh. Why do we want to run? Is something about to chase me? Yo, watch your back, dude. Something ain't right here. Something ain't right here. Why do I play these kind of games? I freak myself out every single time. Oh, no, 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 no. But yes, yes, yes. We go inside. Behind us look clear. Oh, no. It's one of these games, guys. So we have closets that we can hide in. All right, then. That door just farted. It's... ugh, that was a wet one, though. Man, guys, by the way, so today I was working on my garage. On my, it needed some maintenance. I haven't worked on it in a while, and the roller wheel was giving me an issue, and oh man, it broke off. It was a mess. It was a mess. All right, let's get out of this closet. So now we know we have closets we can hide in, guys. But every time we go in a closet, it turns our light off. Oh, look at our guy. He works out. Look at him. He's pretty buff cock diesel over here. It's locked. I need a key. The heck, we're gonna find a key. Oh, we have. Oh, yeah. I bet you it's in there. Let's read the notes. Today, a resident reported a certain building in the Kowloon, a wall city surrounded by a bad smell. Ew, because you guys are farting in chat. When I arrived, I found that the bad smell came from a unit on the second floor. I knocked on the door for a long time, but no one responded. Just as I wanted to break through the door, the smell of rice blew in the rancid air. I think there must be someone inside, so I decided to keep knocking. Finally, a girl around 6 to 7 years old opened the door. Not bad. Yeah. Hey, it looks like an actual house key. Look at that. Looks like my house key. Look exactly the same. Oh, wait. I can grab it. How do I grab it? Oh. Oh, we can look at it. Oh. Can we zoom in and out? No, no. E to take. Oh, this is bad news, guys. So we hide in here. Light turns off, and when I come out, light goes on. Well, we better start learning how to use those closets because I feel like we might have needed them. Outlast, weeboo, see, right? Just drop kick the door open. That's how we do it. How do you need it? His shadow's not even moving with the thing. This is bad. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, 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 no. I just saw a hand. I just saw a freaking hand. What's up? What's going on there, Kiki? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Oh, gosh. Please don't come at me. I don't know what that was, guys. I'm scared. Oh, my God. We got windows all over the place. Do I need to crawl? I don't know what I need to do in these kind of... I feel like we're going to be in big trouble when we get there. I don't even want to know. These people are warshipping something? Can you guys see the game pretty good? Okay, let's go. Oh no. Can't shut the door. We got statues here with blood all over them, guys. I don't like the way these statues are looking. The world is divided into yin and yang. Everything has a soul, including stones as well. Yin and yang are different spaces, although the split line might not be very clear. The intrusiveness between space is forbidden to do so. If one breaks the order of yin and yang, terrible consequences would be made. Okay, that door just shut, and we just turned the radio off. I feel like any moment now, something is about to jump at me or grab me. The minute I turn to this radio, the game is going to do something to me. I feel it, and I know it. It wants me to go out that door. Holy dear jeez. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for their jump scare. Yeah, I know it. I feel it coming. What's above me? Whoa, 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 whoa. We got eyeballs. I don't like these statues. Wait, is there anything else here I can grab? No? Can I hide under the desk? No, guys, we're in big trouble. I'm stuck. What the heck? Hey, at least we can see our feet, though. Guys? I think I just stuck myself. Wait, can I jump in this game? Oh no, I just stuck. No! Wait, let me shit. Let's try to move it around. Dang it, I'm oh, how do I... We can't jump in this game. If we could jump, I could probably get myself out of here. Already, guys, I got myself stuck. Of course I do. Why? Because I go places I'm not supposed to. Oh, dear jeez. Yep, I'm gonna have to reset the game. I feel like I'm getting out, but then I'm not. Let me go this way and then this way. Just restart the game. We'll just restart the game real quick, guys. Sorry about that. Oh, cool. Wow. It auto-saved. Sweet. All right, before I go any further, just a moment. Just a moment, guys. We down. Do it, guys. Get right back to... Oh my god, my graphics card running hot? I'm at 70 degrees Celsius. Ouch. This game is really, don't I have the, No, I don't have it on. Oh, shoot. I don't know if it's gonna let me, though. Hold on. I hope it doesn't mess me up. It's not gonna work right now because I get the game running. Dang it. We'll be fine. We should be good. All right, let's go. Holy, what the? Why'd you? She's fast. Oh, she is fast. I can't do nothing. Okay, time out. Time out. I ran into a dead end. I'll be one of the first people to die in a horror film. Okay, Trixz. Bad idea. Okay. Wow, you are one mofo, aren't you? Alright, let's get running. We need to go through a door. No? Where's the door at, guys? I need to do. Oh, wait, here we go. Oh yeah, she's possessed right now, guys. She is possessed. You know, I'm gonna let her do her thing. Let her do a little hissing and hussing. When she leaves, we'll get out of here. I think we're almost clear, guys. I believe the trick to the horror game is just not progress at all, right? Okay, I think we're good. She opened the gate. So, do I want to go back that way? Or we're probably gonna need to go that way. She knocked us to a big hallway. Kind of curious. I'm kind of nosy right now. Did she ruin the yin and the yang? How dare you? Oh, okay. Yeah. So she literally put me into the other world. Oh, okay. We're probably gonna come back this way, but we're gonna go ahead and just go forward, guys. So she opened the gate. Let's just go ahead and go that way. Just hide in the corner and never play it, right? Hey, that's one way to do it. At least we won't die. But then we'll never know what happened here. Like, what's the cause of this paranormal, right? Got a picture of somebody sitting down. When the door opened, a strong, unpleasant smell rushed out. It made me throw up immediately. After a while, I asked the little girl if there was an adult home. She replied her mother just went to bed after preparing meals. I walked in and saw a corpse lying in bed. The female corpse turned dark and her face was a mess, covering with blood. The victim's husband is our top suspect after investigation. He is an illegal dentist in Walled City and has been missing for days. The social welfare unit has been contacted to follow up the situation of the girl. Wow. Keep putting the... I feel like she's gonna pop out at me. Is she with corners? Oh no, we got dolls. Oh no. No. I don't like dolls in games. They're creepy. They're creepy and scary. What's this? Oh, okay. Maybe she's just programmed to go across. Like, maybe she won't chase us yet. Careful, Trixz. I don't know if she can see me if I'm crawling with the light on or off. I don't think it matters. You just... Ugh. That's disturbing. The volume just changed. It's locked. I need a key. Okay. It went in here and disappeared. That's weird, yo. Real dark here. I can't see nothing. Let's go check out that room real quick. Oh. Hey, cool. You probably want to close that or maybe leave it open. Who knows? I know, guys. A woodworking hammer. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll come in use. You dare come behind me. Oh my god, my graphics card's getting hot. Oh no! I could just quit the game real quick and go back, but I don't want to do that, guys. It kills the immersion. Looks like the handle is missing. Wait, how do... Oh, my ID badge. According to the company policy, I must have to buy a new one if lost. Why would that matter at these times? How do I navigate? Oh, one of these kind of games. Holy shoot, we got notes and everything? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think... Okay, maybe we really gotta look for like a legit handle. The wood plank's pretty useless, I guess. How do I... Okay, so we're gonna turn the generator on. There's a wire running this way. It's gonna pull that up and then that gate's gonna open. But we need a handle. Oh, one of these? No? Alright, so we have a hammer for a reason. Alright, maybe we have to leave this room. Because I'm not seeing anything else here right now. Okay. Well, we know what this is. That makes sense. Just break the lock. Why not? I can't close the door. Alright, so this is that thing that we were reading about, guys, with the guy doing the illegal stuff, so we gotta be careful. Right, use it as a handle is what we're gonna do. We got a letter. I'm gonna read it. There's a lot of reading in this game. Dr. Ho. Or How. I think it's How, right? I don't know how they pronounce their H and O's in their language. Your denture amazed me a lot. My friends from the elderly said it fitted perfectly and just like real teeth. Today, I bring some old friends in order to order some dentures. Unfortunately, you're not here. When you read this note, please call me at the elderly center. I will come to visit you again someday. Madame Wong. Okay. That down. So somebody was here to visit. They weren't here. I don't like that depth of field effect. I wish I could remove that. We ain't got a choice, guys. That's like we don't have much. I don't like that. It's we got a picture here. Why do we have a picture here? Can I turn it? Yeah. There's something here in the back. Files updated. Press tab to examine. Song and Ming. Oh, okay. I think we're getting it now. Okay. What time is it? Right. Can't shut the doors. A mystery Chinese medicine recipe about growing teeth. This guy was he was really into his job. He did a great job. Looks like we got a hiding spot, so let's we gotta remember where that is. I can't go that way. Why would there be a hiding spot there? She's gonna come at the door. Watch. So why? Wait, whoa! I came in here for a handle. Big giant suitcase. Oh no. Oh no. She's angry. She is angry. She opened the door for me. Okay, so she allows us to progress. Okay, I think we're getting the feel of it. Still hear her. Singing a song. Nope. Okay, we gotta be. Oh, she's still here, yo. She's still here. So really, we don't have much hiding options in this game except the lockers. Not the best choice, but it is our only option. So you guys can't see when I'm in the closet, right? It's dark. I'm trying to watch the playback real quick. Let's see what you guys see. Yeah, it's pretty dark. All right. Pancake sound really good. You know what? Screw it. I don't want to go in there, but we ain't got a choice. Yep. She's still here. She's still here. I don't think she's gonna come out. I think she wants to stay in that room, and we're gonna have to go in. She's close. She walks back the other way. But I think we have to go in here. There she is right there, guys. Holy jeez. Do I have to go this way? I don't think she can see the flashlight. Yeah, she don't see us through the crack or the flashlight, so that's good. At least the AI doesn't predict that. So it's safe to say that, yeah, I don't like that depth of field. I mean, I guess it gives it that realism, but no, I'm not really a fan of it. All right, so she turns her back. Oh, that's gonna be tough. Ooh wee. She stays turned around for a while. Yeah, she don't stay over here too long. Wow. Jeez, Whitaker's Batman. Dear gosh. How? Okay, so I can't do that then. Be quiet or walk slowly. Oh, she goes down to the end. I get it now. Hmm. We see her? We don't have a lean. Okay, now we're gonna have to go back around. I'm holding my phone at arm's length for safety. Hey. She's spooky, man. She is spooky and she's creepy. We good? I think we're good, guys. Let's go put this handle away. I don't trust her. Find some wood. Oh. Dang it, I took too long. That was my fault, guys. Oh, I can't do it until she's coming in. Okay. All done. Go back to the generator. Okay, at least it kind of tells us what we need to do here. Is she about to break that piece of wood? Not good, guys. Not good. Dude, get the heck out of here. Ooh, we're in a freaking sewers, guys. Which way do we want to go? This way would be the obvious. I scream so loud, I know. Spooky, man. Oh, dead end, but no Easter eggs. Nah. All right, let's go ahead and continue on, guys. We're in the very, very, very dark sewer level here, guys. This looks like about to get interesting. Good to know. Wait, which way am I going? Okay, yeah, we gotta go this way. Keep an eye on our surrounding here. All right. It's really dark in this game. I want to increase the gamma for you guys. Actually, I could. Hold on. At least for you guys. Bear with me here. Yeah, that is really dark. Look like daytime now, right? Or super dark. Hold on. Okay. I think I had it set here. That is already pretty high. There we go. That should be better for you guys. Should be better now. Why do we have a phone in the sewers? What the heck? I think I don't want to be here. This is probably a bad idea, guys. This guy. Okay, let's answer the phone. We shouldn't, but we are.
估唔到你仲未死。
你係邊個？嘉慧佢。
聽住，佢而家唔係嘉慧，你一定要揾到嗰個阿婆嘅屋企。
Want to stay alive.
想留返條命
Find the old woman's
就要
home.
快啦。
Holy crap. Find the old woman's home. That's our new objective right now, guys. Trixz, the phone equals death. I know, but I couldn't resist. It was so, you know, when you can't like resist and you just gotta do, you gotta like touch it, you know. Yeah, it has jump scares. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's different. Why not? Find the old lady's home. Okay. Well, let's find it. Bum dum bum ba da da da. Bum dum bum ba da da bum. Wait a minute. Hmm. This is not good. Oh. It's locked. This should come in handy. Well, we got this big giant wrench or pliers or wire cutters or whatever the heck we just grabbed. I don't even know. What did we grab? Bolt cutters. I said wire cutters. Wow, Trixz. Alright, at least you guys can see the game, so that's perfect. As long as you guys can see it, I'm happy. Alright, and you guys are getting that nice little, oh, it's playing smooth, too. I like it. Let's go down. How do I go down without killing myself? Oh! Oh, we're okay to jump down? Okay. A dead end. So I don't understand. Oh, okay. So we gotta press E first to climb. Okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, Trixz is asking for trouble, guys. I mean, you don't answer a phone. And in scenes like this, like... I wonder what they were cooking here. I'm hungry. We need to look for a gate of some sort, guys. Let's, Oh. Yep. What is that? Oh, we're in trouble, guys. We're in trouble. I'm not even gonna ask what this room is. I think this is like a butcher room. Yep. Oh, we can't even go in there. There's a locker. Okay. Once we pull that lever, she's probably gonna come in. We're gonna have to hide into the locker. We're gonna do this. We're like, oh my god, I'm scared. Oh my dear jeez. Yes. Oh, it's dark. Well, let's get ready for it. We got a letter here. Peggy. Hostess? Look at that face. What the? Oh, we can't take it. Here she comes, guys. Here she comes. We got a possessed little demon being here. We must be careful. No, seriously. We have to be careful. Dum bum dum bum 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 bum. Dum bum ba dum bum 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 bum. Bum ba bum ba bum bum bum. All right. I think she's still out there, guys, so we have to be very careful here. All right, let's make this progress. What did I grab? I grabbed nothing. Oh, we turned the power on. Oh, for the switch. But I wonder if she's... Oh, she's right there, yo. She has a really weird, like, pattern. Look, we got hanging... Be quiet, don't get caught. Okay, I don't know her pattern on this one, guys. We're gonna have to study her a little bit. Yeah, the closets do kind of give you the impression like, hey... Okay, so what's her pattern here? Let's study her. Dear jeez. Okay, so she goes that way and then she turns around. She looks normal to me, right? Delivery list from the slaughterhouse. So, yeah, when we press this, she's gonna come in. So we're gonna do this. I didn't hear nothing. Where'd she go? Or maybe I didn't hold it long enough, guys. Hold on, we might have to pull it again. Okay, let's get ready for that pull again. Welcome back. She doesn't care. I don't know where she is right now. Or did she just leave? I paused. Dang it, no! Oh, how's the checkpoints? Wasn't too hard. I screwed up. Dang it, instead of running, guys, I did something. That was a big fail on my part. Alright, well, let's let her walk around, do her thing. Oh god, I panicked. Yes, I panicked. Oh, I panicked so bad. I crouched like a dummy. Ooh. Yeah, she doesn't come in here when I pull that lever, and that's pretty loud, so that's interesting. Yeah, but I don't think the flashlight, I don't think she sees it though. And plus, I want to make it to where you guys can actually see on the stream. I'm gonna be honest, I usually just call people by the username, guys. Unless you're here like every day and I know you personally, or like you're very loyal, then I might remember. But other than that, there's a lot of names I go by with like Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Steam, Discord. Like I won't remember. Okay, our lights off. Can you guys still see the game? Let me hide to the side here that I can use my ears to listen. She's walking by now. Yeah, I don't think she can... It's too dark. I can't. The game is way too dark. Alright, I don't think she can see us this way. Yeah, because earlier I tested her with the flashlight. She didn't really... She didn't really see me, so I think we're okay. I don't get it. Am I missing something? Okay, we did hit the lever. I mean, I don't know. Oh, I can't go back. Huh, that's interesting. I think we screwed up, guys. And now that I think about it, he's pretty close by, guys. I'm gonna wait a second. I gotta pull the lever again. Oh. No, I don't. Okay, that's weird. That is very weird. Someone needs to hire a janitor. Right! It's a very bad alley. Alright, here we go. We're missing something here. Oh. I think there's something back there in the corner. We're gonna have to hit that, guys. I think. We're gonna find out. Dang it! Okay, I can't see her. There's no like lean function. Okay, so what happened now? Do I need to pull that switch again? I think that's what we need to do here, guys. Dang it! Here we go again, right? Right. Yeah, I appreciate the non-spoilers, guys. Thank you so much. Alright, so she just kind of does like that. Weird circular stuff. And then we're good. Oh, don't tell me I gotta do the whole thing again. You gotta be kidding me. Does it matter which one I pull first? I don't know. I don't know if she sees a light or not. I can't even tell anymore. At this rate? Alright, so we have to pull both. Let's wait for her to walk by real quick. I can hear her. He sees all too well. Let her do her thing. Okay, now we can let her do her thing, get out of here. Alright, we got it now. I don't know which way she's gonna do this time, though. Okay, we're good. We are good in. Woo! That was close. I think now we got it open, though. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we don't run very fast in this game, unfortunately, so... it's kind of spooky. We're done here, guys. I'm crawling like a little chicken. It's exactly what I'm doing. I'm scared. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, let's get to that door, right? I don't see any other... yeah, we should be good. All right, let's hit that button. Let's get out of here. I don't trust her. Oh. Ooh, Ooh, the lag is it's real right here. I think it's the there's something there making me lag. But anyway, with that being said, let's continue this way. Now the good news is we're not dropping any frames, which is good. All right. Can't even sprint, guys. Dead end. Oh. Okay, we climbed up to the top, which is good. All right, good job, right, boys. Run, guys. That was that was different. You know, that was definitely, it freaked me out. Okay, the game is saving. Means we're probably gonna die. All right, what's going on up there at the top? Is that shadows or is that just like a flag or like what's this? Something is missing here. I don't remember what these. I mean, I know what they are. I see them all the time. Like, you know, go to like carnivals and stuff. All right, looks like we might have hiding zones. What's with all the fruits everywhere with like food? Very smooth and fine carved. Marble ball. Maybe that goes inside that thing. Oh, with this, guys, I don't know. It's not gonna work. Not gonna work. To let the spirit eat the fruit makes sense. Makes sense. She did grab the fruit earlier. Yeah, you know, that's actually a really good point. And with the yin and the yang. Yeah, look, the rice. Yeah, it's like a ritual. Definitely a ritual. I don't know much about this kind of stuff. Oh, wow. A piece of red blood jade donut? I like donuts. There is an ancient article written on it, and there's a sketch on the back. I know what we gotta do. Can we combine items? How do we combine? Oh, we just gotta do it one at a time. The heck? How do... What the... I don't get it. What just happened? I don't even know what I was doing. Oh my god, this dude just like smashed his face?
呢個係紙片。
Well, he had an ID card here. I know who he is. I gotta crouch. This was Leo. We're literally about to take Leo's eyeball? See, even I didn't see that one coming. Ugh. So, do I put his eyeball in there then? That's not gonna work, guys. Alright, so the eyeballs for something. Oh, is it for the door, maybe? No, nothing here at the door. Alright, we're gonna keep moving on. We don't need his thing here. Well, we got some statues. Let me guess, missing an eyeball? Oh, we can't, no. Well, they are missing an eyeball, but nothing we can do with it. Oh. The yin and the yang. Oh my god, I'm lagging. Oh, the door. Yo, Slick Road, how you been? Oh my god, see there now. See, we're seeing names we haven't seen in a while, guys. All right, let's go ahead and move up. I feel like something bad. It's getting dark too, guys. Something bad is definitely about to happen here. So let's watch ourselves. Oh my god! I thought we were about to get chased or something. Like something crazy was about to happen. All right, hold on, guys. I'll be right by my desk, but I gotta check something. Good. Okay, let's get back into action. Been good, that's good. Well, as good as I can be with the craziness going on. Yeah, this quarantine is no joke, guys. Best thing to do is stay safe and out of trouble. Best thing to do. The best thing to do right now. Wanna go out there, guys? I just make sure that we gotta be very, very safe about it. You know? Alright. Alright, let's see what we got here. We do have a hiding spot, which is really good. Probably gonna need that in a second. We gotta figure out which door is gonna be for what. It's locked. Okay, we're gonna check the other door real quick. Do what I do and do nothing but play games. Yes, video games are the way to go, guys. They are definitely the way to go. But one of the main things I do with these guys, I like to use these beautiful things. I put them inside to make sure we don't breathe that nasty stuff out in the air. I'm not gonna wear it right now though. I mean, there's no need. One thing I learned, guys, like always like I know I'm good because I'm home, but like I've seen people wear masks and like touch it with their gloves, you know. Was about to say, why are you wearing it now? Unless you're streaming from Walmart, right? Yeah, I got no need for that right now. I'm home, I'm safe. I always disinfect everything. And I got a whole bunch, so I'm not worrying about it. Like, I know everybody kind of waited last minute. I was already ahead. You know, same for like the disinfectant wipes. I got a whole bunch. All right. And toilet paper. But now the next item going out, which I didn't get, is hair dye. But I'm not worrying about it. I mean, my hair is not gray, so I'm okay. What the heck? Come in. Come in, kid? No, this is bad. I don't want to go in there. Why would I want to go in there for? I need to stay at home. 14 March on 31st? Oh. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, everybody's staying home, guys. I don't know where everybody's from. I mean, for the most part, I know we have a lot of like EU and US. But I've looked at my charts, guys. We do get people from like other countries too, which is kind of cool. I've seen Australia, like Belgium, China, stuff like that. So where I'm from, we don't have a complete lockdown. Now we do have like hour restrictions, like you know, like companies are closing early. Some of the dine-ins are not open. They have to close early. Only do takeouts. Gas went cheap, guys. Gasoline is real cheap. I don't trust this lady.
呢度發生咩事啊？
Randy, what's going on here?
我朋友嘉慧佢好唔妥啊！
後生仔，
Today's July 14th.
14，鬼門關大開。
Gates of hell are opened up. You shouldn't come over.
婆婆，求下你幫下我哋啦！今次唔係專登冒犯咁多位，嘉慧一旦正常返，我哋就會即刻走人㗎啦。
咁就要睇
Depends on my fortune. Oh boy, not good, guys, not good.
台面上有幾道黃符，你攞去啦。唉，佢都係時候要走啦。
Something's wrong with Granny, guys.
每逢盂蘭節晚，嗰鐘敲響8次嘅時候，佢就會過去隔離單位，準備飯餸，等我返去。
What?
你要趁佢喺房嘅時候，將道符貼喺大門。
Put the Chinese talisman on the main door while she is inside?
無論佢講咩嘢都好，都千祈唔好開門啊！
Take the Chinese talisman to perform the exorcism? Oh, dear jeez. Wait, what happened to my flashlight, guys? I can't... Chinese talisman. Ooh. Is the key? Alright, so we got the Chinese talisman and we got the key. Granny knows what she's talking about here. Still got no flashlight, guys. Can't see. Okay, is she talking about the door outside? Okay, what happened to my flashlight? Oh, we're not supposed to be in here anyway. This is just like extra stuff to look at. That means nighttime can't go out. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I think they don't encourage us to go out. Like we're just like on a essential type deal, but other states are enforcing like you can't go in stores without a mask. All that good stuff. The game is saving. Yeah, this is bad. I got the talisman, so why are we going in? Oh, this is bad news, guys. Okay, now we got the flashlight. Sweet. Bunch of doors here, guys. Yeah, this is bad news. Okay, 6:30, go to market. 8 o'clock, prepare dinner. 10 o'clock, prepare late supper for Ming. 6:30, 8:10. Well, before we do that, (1964) 8:21. There's many white flowers on a hill beside Charity House. I bring one for you, too, Mom. Today I wear Sandra's red skirt. Am I look pretty? Mom's dishes are the best. Alright then, well. Alright, so it seems like we're gonna have to set the clock according to what this letter said. So if we do 6:30, go to market. So I can't see. 8:10. Oh, I just trapped myself, guys. Or I don't know what happened. She's in here. Oh yeah, she is in here. We just got an extended stay home until the 26th, and our local store just started the whole you have to wear the mask to enter or they won't let you inside. Yeah, I don't blame them, you know, like I think everybody should wear them. And the thing is, it's not the people wearing them trying to prevent the disease, it's the people stopping from spreading it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the whole purpose of the mask. Sounds like she's gonna be outside. That was bad. She was right there. Oh boy. She's staying in the house. Am I supposed to shut the door and put the talisman on? Well, she don't come after you? Wow. Alright, we're gonna try to shut the door maybe. I don't know. Oh, I'm not gonna say anything. Nope. She's possessed.
Alo，咪玩啦！我知道係你，快啲開門俾我啦！
So quiet inside. Maybe I should take a look. Yeah, bad idea. The granny said not to go inside. He said not to go inside. Let's go talk to Granny. Granny seems to know what she's talking about. Or we're just gonna go inside. Right, Granny, what am I supposed to do here? You gotta give me some info. You told me no matter what she says, but I didn't open it. This is a safe room, I think. I don't know. Maybe we're meant to go in. Well, I'm gonna check around. I got it locked and trapped, so that's good, right? Nah, I don't know, guys. I think we have to go in. This is probably a bad idea, but it's part of the game. It's what we gotta do, man. Gotta do. Oh, keep it closed. Oh, not going in there. She's fine. She's just sleeping. Right, Granny? Yeah, you know hope. Let's go inside, guys. Let's just go inside. Bad idea. Hmm.
嘉慧，你見點啊？醒下！
而家佢終於走咗啦，放心啦，你朋友已經冇事，佢好快就會。
Holy shit! What the?
之後
Granny came out of nowhere.
嘉慧就離開咗城寨，點都冇再返入去。亦因為呢件事，我哋變咗做情侶。不過嘉慧因為驚嚇過度，有陣時行為會變得有啲古怪。喺老細嘅安排之下，我哋調離咗外景組，一直留喺 office 做嘢。就咁過咗3個月，喺4日之前，我收到嘉慧一則奇怪嘅 message， 之後就點都揾唔到佢。呢幾日收咗工，我都會繼續留喺 office， 希望可以揾到一啲有用嘅線索。
Gothi Chan? Wait, what? That can't be it. Looks like we're checking our email? Get a coffee to refresh my mind? Whoa. The heck? Yo, what man cave is this? Look at this dude. Wow. He is running some, I'll take the wallet. So do I do anything with this? No. Let's back out. It's 4 a.m. We got a bunch of things going on. We got some random graffiti here on the side. It's almost 10 o'clock. Just like the note was saying. So I don't get what's going on here. So we kind of fast forward in time, or oh, we got zombies. Look, birds. Oh. So we got a few other things. I thought the game was over for a second. I was like, wow, that was a short game, but I guess not. Employment agreement. This agreement made as of the 12th of April 2014 between Kowloon Second Broadcast Limited to the Miss Yo Young Yen. Effective date from 12th of April 2014. Post psychic guest and supervisor. During the contract period, Miss Ho agreed to join the team's outdoor filming for at least 6 times. Also, Miss Ho should suggest filming locations and join the crews during filming. Okay, well, I do have a flashlight, which is good. Oh, we got a kitty cat. Meow. We're in a whole new location right now, guys. So the game's not done? Notice, due to physical reasons, Ghostface will no longer be a special guest for our show, Beyond the Invisible. Ghostface always has a lot of fans. When you broadcast this info, I think a way to applaud our viewers and make sure they won't unsub our channel. Wow. In addition, we need to find another psychic master station in our show as soon as possible. If you have acquaintances or relatives and friends to introduce, feel free to give them information, bonus, or successful referrals. Okay. Well, we have doors locked. Locked, okay. Locked. Locked, okay. Oh, big place. We're not going that way. Why does it feel so cloudy in here? Oh. Oh, this is where we get our coffee. Oh, we got the family assorted biscuits. Wait, what? Yeah, well, let's get our coffee. A can of coffee. Oh, my phone's ringing, guys. Go back to my seat and find clues about Kathy. Also, we're not done here. I can't sprint. I think he's been working a little too much, guys. Oh.
返家偉啊！
你到底邊 Q 個？
乜咁冇記性啊？之前喺城寨，我仲救過你一命。
Wow.
你聽我講先啦，你哋公司上次係唔係買咗一 set 二手設備啊？入面有部 DV 機，好邪㗎，就係你上次喺城寨用嚟拍嘢嗰部呢。
Wow.
但凡俾嗰部錄影機攝過嘅人都會受到詛咒。唔信啊，你就去揾下之前影落嘅片，親眼睇下咯。
This is bad, guys. Add our... Holy dude, search the backup hard disk in the server room. Oh, we're in trouble, guys. We are in trouble. We were supposed to just grab coffee and get back to work. What the heck? This is bad. A hard disk? Oh, oh wow, like legit looks like read the labels on it and everything. Look at that. Take it back to the office. Okay, so I think now we sit back at our desk. Oh boy. Here he goes.
到咗逃出靈界點探靈時間，我係阿海。
Wait, what?
我哋嚟到呢個地方，陰氣好鬼重啊！
I'm controlling it?
係傳聞中粵劇花旦分屍案嘅現場。我而家就帶大家去參觀下。
Memorial of the Lings, first act, new Chinese opera trope, choppy, whatever, trope, chop. What is this, number 7? It's so terrifying. What a weird doll. Monks? Number 4. It's a lot of weird things going on here, guys. Hold on. Okay, let's get back into motion here. All right, we have 4 and what was the other number? I don't remember. Four and 7. 4, 7, 3. 4, 7, 3. Oh boy, yep, we're definitely being watched. Blocked. Also here for later, I think. No, hold on. I think that's I'll do that in a second. Delicate hairpin, so pretty. Take it to the antique shop. Maybe you'll get rich. What the heck is going on here? Ooh, there's a finger here. Looks like a finger of a... Oh, I'll take it. Maybe I gotta put the dummy together. Ling, welcome home. Have you forgotten my profession? I will give you the most beautiful body to match with your perfect voice. Okay, fair enough. Okay then. Okay, so it's telling me here. Oh, I see it now with the patterns. A note with a bugao symbol. I don't know. Put that down. Nothing here. Nothing else. No, but guys, but this is telling me how. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, we grabbed it. Shoot. Or 7. 347. So we have heart, lung, intestines. Actually, I think that was 47. Oh, the numbers are missing. Alright, so we got a little puzzle here. Interesting. Alright, so technically, yeah, 347. Let's find out what pattern they were. That's probably gonna open that door. So number intestines was 3. Seven was lungs. So it should be like this then. Before would be like this. Four was lungs, 3 was intestines. Hold on, guys, I screwed up. Hold on. Intestines is 3. 7 was intestine or lungs. 7 was lungs. Okay, 7 was lungs. 7 be this one. It goes like that. Heart. 4. Oh, wait. Am I doing the pattern way wrong? Hold on a second. Okay, 6 going to be down, 3 down, 2 going to be up, 3 down, 1 is going to be down, 3 up, 5 is going to be up, 3 down, 8 going to be it's like that. That should be it though. I don't know, does that really matter? That's interesting. Thomas! What's up, bro? By the way, I added you on PlayStation. Alright, number 7 was going to be the lungs. 7 was the lungs. So let me just make sure, and then 3 was intestines. 3 and 7. So 3 is the bottom. 3 is up. Oh, 3 is wrong. Wow, we had 1 wrong, guys. Unbelievable. Low cost VFX. Marvelous. Gosh. Oh dear gosh. What is going on here, guys? Went into the creepy room. Oh wow, look at these pieces. Am I really about to do this? What are we building here? I just put the finger. Oh gosh. People die from death will turn into Bartle before becoming reborn to a new life. Bartle is a omniscient and omnipotent. It has a lifespan of 49 days, after which it reincarnates and becomes another. It's hard to read the rest. These 49 days are the key to death. If the one is not qualified, he or she will bear the consequences, is written on the back. Ling, soon you can return to the stage. Okay. What do you point? Oh, you're pointing at the X. Is there a hammer outside? Okay, so we gotta find a hammer. Oh. Nope. Did I just... Wait, why my trash can got knocked over here? Right? Am I on Xbox? No, I'm on the PC right now, Thomas. Oh my god, guys. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. We have to be careful. Alright, let's oh my dear jeez, we're in big trouble, guys. All these doors are locked. One more way to go. Oh, he's looking for Kathy again? Oh boy. Well, let's go find her, guys. We gotta chase her down like last time.
呢度咪係頭先阿海拍嘢嗰度？嘉慧呢？
Must find Kathy. Okay, so this time 7 was the lung. Four is the heart. Distance is 3. But it looks a little different here, guys. Well, I don't have to do that this time, but there is a button here. Wow, so yeah, that's interesting. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't want to go in there, guys, but we don't have a choice right now. By the way, Thomas, guess what, bro? I'm going to be playing some PlayStation games pretty soon. Thank you, Project Zero. Appreciate you guys sticking around, though. I really do. Oh. Well, let's go here. Alright, we gotta find Kathy. Kathy! Now, where did she go? I have no idea. Is this her shoe? The shoe covered with blood? That's not very good. Maybe she had a bleeding toe? Voodoo dolls. Today I create 2 puppets. One is me, the other is Ling. We can be together like them. Wow. That's not very good. Thank you, Thomas. Good morning, by the way. Yep, we're going up top, guys. Okay. It is getting spooky. Alright, so we're getting up to the top. Oh man. Not good. Not good, team. Not good at all. Oh wow, we actually see some outside world. Thank you, Thomas. Not good. We're gonna have to go into the room she just went to. Do we? We should probably check it out. Oh. It's blocked. There's, in old times, hitting a gong is a ritual on opening ceremony. I know that from movies. An old gong? I can't hit it? Master Wong, I've been staying in this theater for 35 years, day and nights. It is my honor to work here. However, right, I am no longer to serve as a security guard anymore. Please forgive me and leave me all of a sudden. Lee. Wow. We're in a different location right now, guys. Like we're in a school or kind of complex. What about this door? Oh, we found the we will need that. But before we go down, let's check around here. It's locked. Alright, well, you know, it's pretty obvious where we need to go. Oh no, buddy! Maybe we'll go upstairs and find out what that is. Oh, thank you, Project Zero. What is that? Bunny ears? The dead end. I love how it just stops as soon as I get here. Oh, no, what is that? A fishing rod? bunch of weird instruments around here, guys. Run, run. Oh, what the? Oh! Oh no! I got stuck in the door, guys. Wow. I get stuck a lot. That was creepy. Sounds like Jason music. It does, right? It does. I'm sorry, guys. Let's do that again. That is weird. Just run. I don't want to get stuck again. Oh, he webbed it. All right, we're not supposed to go that way. Okay, all right. I thought maybe we had to turn back around, but never mind. That was not what to do. Oh my god, I'm scared. All right, guys, run it up, run it up. Alright, what are we supposed to do now? What the? We are in trouble. We in big trouble. The hell is this? Can't take them down. Ancient pages, there's something written on it. Yeah, it doesn't really tell me. Okay, so I don't think we can decipher that, guys. Thing is missing? Yeah, we need that other piece. Locked. Okay, okay. A rusty handle for a generator. Hope it still fits. Well, let's turn it. What the heck? It is filled with smelly liquid. Ooh. Bottle with unknown liquid. That's very nice. We'll take that. And then we'll put the Milli liquid in there. Yeah. It's a key. That was easy. We're probably gonna be running again, guys, so let's the game is saving. Need to find some tool. Where's Kathy? Kathy must be nearby. I need to find the tools, open the vent. Oh great. Oh gosh, there it is again. There it is again. It's looking for me, guys. Wow. Oh. Oh boy. Creepy. Yeah, I don't like that, guys. As long as I stay under here, I should be good, right? Stay under the tables, guys. Stay under the tables. Ooh. Why wouldn't she move? That was weird. Oh my gosh, scary. Make sure she don't see us, guys. What the? Whoa. Did she just turn into a spider? I'm telling you, there's some freaky going on here. Oh boy, we gotta do this again, guys. I die. I think I don't know where I screwed up at, but ooh, no. I don't like when she doesn't move. It's kind of spooky. I'm not gonna make it. I screwed up. Nope, yeah, I'm fine actually. Okay, nice and easy, guys. Nice and easy. Okay, so what am I supposed to do after this? The true master is the puppets outside at this time. How dare him? People clapped their hands and they watched the puppet show years ago. Time to change, I guess. Actually, what a surprise to me. Link's performance was highly praised by the true master. Now she's always put that hairpin in the head there to rehearsal. She said the testimony is our relationship. Alright, I'll be the audience this time. Oh boy. Damn, I got bank, right? 15,000, Kiki. You were not playing around. We did get some new top 10s, guys. We're getting more people in here, which is great. Which is really awesome. Put that down, guys. This should come in handy. Okay, so now what? We got the little plier thingy. I think she left, guys. We're not going this way, that's just a dead end. Am I supposed to just go back? Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, run away, oh yay. Huh? What happens now? That was weird. Well, you know what? Oh yeah, we got the tool for the vent. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so now we're just cutting it. Oh, that was quick. Easy peasy. 15,000 is a lot though. It's good. What the hell was that? A bat? This is bad, guys. This is so bad. Okay, let's watch ourselves here, guys. We have to be very, very careful. Alright, let's figure out what we're gonna do here. Let's just keep moving in. Dum, 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 dum. How long I've been on, guys? Oh, I did restart it too, so I think we're gonna... I think we're getting close to 4 hours, which is pretty good. I hear something. Let's hear that. What's going on up ahead? We're not done yet, guys. We don't know what that noise is. Is it raining or is it just like a washing machine? Holy, what the?
Ahoy! Ahoy!
Oh my god, that made my heart drop. Whoa! Yeah, it's been about 3 hours. Yeah. Holy dear jeez. Okay. Wow. Ah! The key is gone! I must drop it somewhere where I am hiding!
9月13號，我係逃出靈界點嘅阿海。 節目組啲人去晒邊度啊？呢度人影都唔多個。9月14號，我探索咗好耐，但係點都走唔出嗰日用 DV 機影過嘅地方。
Okay, it's about the camcording.
我困住咗喺條片度。
He's trapped in the video.
9月17號，好似已經過咗3日啦。我乜都冇食過，但係都唔覺得肚餓。睇嚟呢度
Thank you, Project Zero.
我成日都聽到有把詭異嘅聲喺度唱大戲。我已經唔記得今日係咩日子啦。
Poor guy, he hung himself.
唔知係現實會見到㗎。我走唔甩㗎啦，我堅持唔到落去啦。
That's it, man. He hung himself. He's like, I'm done. He was done. He did not want to run from the giant puppet looking thingy. He's like, nope. Game over for me. He hit the key somewhere, guys. Alright, where'd you put the key? Pocket? Or it's in this room? Oh, that's not it. Huh. Interesting. Oh wait, or do I go out here? No, we ain't going out there, guys. Okay. We gotta find a key. This guy's hid it somewhere. Or was it in here? No? Not in his shoe, not in his pockets. Behind the door, maybe? No? I must drop it somewhere when I am hiding. Okay, where'd you put the key? I'm gonna be looking all over to the ground, guys. This game is so dark, it's hard to see anything. He is hiding, so it's gotta be... No, not that. It would. It absolutely would, guys. I mean, you know, people do this kind of stuff, guys. I mean, they really do. Oh, there we go. We found it. I'm scared his body's gonna move. Oh, okay, good. Don't you dare grab me. Oh, we're good. See, when we get into like long hallways, we know something's probably gonna happen again, so we have to be careful. Oh, I don't like this.
而家你信啦，係咪？
嗰部 DV 發生過咩事？
咁就要講到佢嘅前主人啦。如果你唔想好似阿海一樣下場，都係先諗辦法離開啦。
Run away out.
去揾一道隱形嘅門。
咁嘉慧喺邊啊？喂喂
Oh boy. This may be related to the secret door. Thank you for your appreciation. It is a great honor for me to write a script for this opera troupe. Antonesi, whatever, I don't know. Opera is my life, my favorite. Master Feng Shui. And a second. Okay, it looks like they're all facing out. A piece of vintage note. Put down. Ah, they all gotta be even. I get it. Hmm. I wonder if the patterns in the background mean anything. Pick two last to swap positions. Okay, so see like an eye and then the second symbol. See the eye there. Almost the same thing, really. So maybe... Cantonese tricks. Thank you. Cantonese. There we go. He will be the new puppet master. Calling it out. Right. This is definitely an interesting puzzle. Gotta get these to get even. Okay, so we have patterns in the background, and then we got these, right? Maybe I'm not supposed to do these quite yet. I think we got hints in the background here. One, two, three, four, five, six, 10. We got 10 sticks here. I'm looking at these patterns in the background. How do we know? Interesting one. All right, so let's say these are like in different orders though. See, the red markers on the bottom got me kind of wondering too, like. Okay, hold on. We just got to get them to be even, guys. So. Oh, that's interesting. That's real interesting. Boom! Got it. Where's umbrella come from? What the heck? What is this? A comma shaped bead with creamy color? Yeah, we got some more we got to do. Okay, that was an interesting puzzle. Oh, now I see it divided in it. Okay, I need... Oh. We figured it out though. That's good. So we got one of them, guys. We still got two more we got to get, I think. I just saw it. Well, we're not going that way yet. Don't think we have a choice. Either the second floor. Got that one. One more to go, guys, and then we are good. Okay, so we're going up to the second floor then. Probably a bad idea, but... What the heck? Spotlight is rusted and stuck. Yep, it's rusted and stuck, guys. Oh. How much you want to bet we're about to get chased? So far, so good. Yeah, I guess we're good. Hmm. Can you go in there? No, I don't think we can hide in there. We saw these numbers before. Blue, white, red, yellow. But where? Blue, red, white, yellow. We saw them somewhere. Hmm. Blue, red, white, yellow. Alright, it's gotta be something down here. Blue, red, white, yellow.
Ahoy, me hearties!
I don't know much else about the color coordination though. Probably back up top. We can't go back, so it's gotta be up that way. Blue, red, white, blue, yellow. Hmm. This is rusted, so this is out of the question. Blue, red, white, blue, yellow. Oh no. I'm supposed to just guess, I guess. Look at you, Thomas. You doing good, bro. You got some May 7th. You got some time. Okay. Oh man. Nah. Let's look at our notes. All right. Hmm. It's got to be something. But which letter? Um. I don't know. One, two, three, four is not it. It shows it going to the right too. Okay, so what can it be then, guys? We're missing something here. We're missing something. What is it though? What are we missing? Blue, white, red, yellow. You gotta be kidding me. Blue is 1, 2. Blue is 6. Red is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe 5. White is 2. Six, 2, 5, 3. Wait, what? What the? Oh! Oh my gosh. That scared me. Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm dead. Oh boy. Oh. Dude. That freaked me out, yo. Just run away, run away. Don't even look back, guys. Don't even look back. The light doesn't help us. Wow. One way to do it. The light actually saved me. Need some tools to make it open. Wow, we got lucky there, guys. All right, well, let's go back to that room then.
What the deuce?
Thing is creepy, man. What? Right? That's exactly what I'm saying. It just broke the wall. Look at that. Come from? We got the last piece. Now we got the screwdriver. Let's take it. Let's get back to that door. And let's get out of here. Like a command bot, I know, right? Alright, here we go. So far, so good. So we got the final piece. I think we're pretty much done here, guys. We're gonna find a secret door now. Here we go. Oh wait. The heck is all this? That's it? Gold wire rim glasses with amber decoration? What? See things I couldn't see before, or does it decipher things for me? I don't know what we're doing here, but we got some. Oh. That's creepy. Weird, man. This is scary. I think we got it, guys. I think we're done here. Wait, what? Oh, the chairs are actually numbered from like 1 to 12. That is interesting. This has bad news written all over it right now. Okay. Okay. I just grab a seat or what? Or not. Okay, let's go up the stairs. Something is missing. Oh. Free ticket? Hey. Oh, just put it down. Something is missing. Hmm. Hmm. Alright, maybe there's something on one of these chairs somewhere, guys. Yeah, I don't think there's nothing I can really do here right now. It's a very crazy game. It is. No, we're missing something. Okay. Hold on. But what? Well, these chairs are numbered.
Ahoy, me hearties!
Yeah, we definitely don't want to go that way. Okay, so maybe, hold on. Let me look at this picture here. Stand out. Oh, G2. Maybe the other G2? Oh, wow. Completely missed that, guys.
Cao慧，咪走啊！你究竟要去邊度啊？
Oh, we're in big trouble, guys. Oh, and we see the spider web. This could be bad. This could be bad. All right, we got a puzzle here. I know this enemy's gonna be up there, guys. It's supposed to be like maybe like that. Wait a minute. Oh no, that chair. I'm not doing it right. Wait a minute, let me check and see what's up with this. Okay, hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. We got two chairs here, right? It's like maybe I should take a look on the stage.
吓？點解呢度會變成咁㗎？
Okay, something's not right here. Dang it, she's fast. Okay, I think we have to use the lights on her. Okay. I just saw these statues moved. Wrong one. So, what am I supposed to do? The statues are moving. Yeah, she doesn't like the light. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. What are we building up there anyway? That side is creepy. It doesn't look like it works so well. It restarts. There we go. We did it, guys. That's it. I think we're done. The place is on fire right now. Oh boy, go, 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 go! We're making progress. We're playing Paranormal HK. We're playing the Paranormal game. Alright guys, well, let's go down. Let's hit the carpet. And let's get out of here. We finally cooked it. Finally. Don't trust it. I'm out of here.
實差人會搏命花，猜邊落陽家，落托廣
Here we go, we got a door.
州。
Okay, so what just happened now? Okay, I'm back at the office. We can't use the restrooms. Interesting. Do we need to get another cup of coffee? One right there. Vending machine. Yeah. Wow, this place is a mess. Look at it. Alright, I think we just gotta go back to our desk right now. Hey, what's going on, Kelso? How are you? Are we in a condemned building? I can't open it? Oh boy, this is bad. Oh, what the? I have no idea. No idea it's a Thomas. Of course this room is open. So what's in here? What am I looking for? Give me a sign. There's nothing in this room. Alright, well, let's keep going back there. It's Kelso. Oh no! Ouch. Look at this place, it's like trashed. What was that noise? My computer? Something's not right here, guys. Yeah, I was, debating. We did some Bleeding Edge earlier, and then I was like, you know what, let me get on some of this. Been wanting to play this. I just haven't had the courage to play it. Not bad. Alright, looks like we're going back. The bathroom. Of all places. Yeah. Bathroom. What sucks we can't see our reflection. See? 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 Interesting. They're smoking, guys. So what door just opened? One of the rooms are turning red. I see it. Oh no. There's a shadow figure, guys. This is bad news. Creepy. Okay, there's nothing. The shadow is gone. Ooh. The heck? Somebody's at the door. There's handprints. Oh boy. Red light is gone. Oh my god, we got a shadowy figure all the way down at the end, guys. Ooh, let's be careful. Still there, too. Oh boy. I guess we follow the shadow. Pretty much following instructions right now. Oh my god, all the free coffee in the world! Let's just fix it. Oh! Nope. Nope. Nope, don't come in here. I'm not in here. Nope. Okay. You're playing games with me, so they just opened the door. We still got the handprints on the door, guys. Place is destroyed. This spirit is playing games with me right now. I just saw, okay. Maybe I should not go to it, right? I think we have to. Alright, let's keep moving in, guys. See what else we can find here. Oh. Whoa. This is bad. This is bad. This is very bad. Am I supposed to like choose my fate here or something?
Hello，歡迎嚟到逃出靈界點，我係阿琪。而家我已經到咗慈秀村嘅停車場啦。 聽講呢個屋村成日會有靈體喺周圍遊蕩。今日呢，我就帶咗鬼仔特製嘅測鬼器，準備。
Oh, so it's like they're running a TV show. Oh boy, lagged. Paranormal event. The signal is weak. Oh boy.
哎呀，頭先喺停車場信號收得唔係好好喎。好啦，大家跟住阿琪一齊周圍睇下。
Walk around with the ghost detector. This is a compass, right? Oh wow. What is that down there? Popular suicide spot. Well, it looks like it. Look at it. Man, imagine living in a place like this. Jeez. Oh boy.
咦？測鬼器有反應啦！大家睇唔睇到啊？
Sorry about that, guys. Gotta get the Easter basket ready. Alright, let's take a look around, see what we got here. We heard a little girl, right? I don't know if it was like up or down, but it's definitely this way. So we're gonna follow this compass. I feel like we're only walking in circles anyway. Yeah. Right, right. Thank you. Happy Easter, guys. Oh, hopscotch.
測鬼器嘅方向變咗。
Holy dear jeez. Holy dear jeez, guys. We're gonna follow the ghosts.
呢度係咪做緊啲咩儀式呢？
Right, before we can take this any further, oh my god, look at all this food. We got rotten banana. What am I? Compass. I don't know the password yet. Hold on. Okay, I see the symbol there. And then that. Okay, so we're gonna have 4 cages then. Of course we do. Alright, so number 1 should be this one. And number should be that one, and then number 4. Wow, got it the first try. Creepy high heel shoe. Okay. What? Goosebumps of July. There was a public housing estate becomes a popular suicide site recently. Someone said it was because of a curse of a woman dressed in red, and we just found red shoes, who jumped to death at a Hungry Ghost festival. Alright, well. Another was missing. Okay, so guys, we got this woman in red. We gotta really watch. I think we're about to be either pursued or something. Yep. Technically, we shouldn't really be going in there, but this way we don't have a choice. So let's see what we got. We got a spooky ceiling fan, broken TV, some weird board, candles. I'll get it. Guys. Oh no. I'm gonna what the dude? My own shadow scare me right now. Get out of here. Oh, look at this guy. He got red. Yeah, the red fans. Wow. The full case tower right there, guys. Very nice. Get out of here, dude. Get the. Oh no, I'm about to live it. I'm about to. Finally here. He wants to be here. What the heck? How old are you? Are you boy or girl? I'm about to talk to the ghost. Oh my gosh. You realize they're using their middle fingers on this board? Are they trying to tell me something? Very angry. Alright, let's watch ourselves here, guys. Gotta watch ourselves here. she leave? I don't know if she left or not, guys. Forgot today was Easter. I'm not gonna lie. Easter Sunday. How can I forget this? Gosh. I gotta do things in the morning. I gotta hurry up and see if I can at least beat this level. This game is a lot longer than I thought it would be. I thought I would have beat it probably by now. I'm liking that it's longer than I thought. That's really good. Well, I guess we exit. What the heck? So we don't get to finish talking on the board. This way? It's locked, so we can't go that way, guys. Pull the fire alarm, tell everybody to get out of here. There's an evil ghost. Dang it, she knew where I was. Oh, what was I thinking? I wasn't thinking, that was the problem. I think I was supposed to go the other way. Hey, hello. Oh! Oh, that hurt. Alright, do it again. Now I know what we gotta do. Okay, we don't go that way. I thought maybe we ran around the apartment, but never mind. Oh, where does this elevator just come from? Now I get it. It's not working. Of course it's not. Oh! You know, you're very mean. What am I supposed to do? There's an elevator, a door. Wait. Can I close this door here? I don't, honestly, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's locked. Elevator's not working, and it doesn't. Okay, so we activate her, and then what though? I don't know. Do I just run? And then go around like this? I don't know. There's gotta be something we gotta do here. All right, let's see. What time? Oh, I think I almost made it past her, but then not really. Alright, guys, we'll probably just save this for the next episode here. All right, let me go ahead and we're gonna make an episode 2. I think we're gonna save an episode 2 here because we are already hitting like the 5-hour mark here. Well, I know we had to take a short break, so I'm not sure what the exact time is. Yeah, see, that's showing the same I got here, but it was way more than that because we did some bleeding edge earlier. All right, guys, let's call it early, and we're gonna take a break here, guys. We'll get some episode 2 rolling in. I'll finish this up. Don't worry. I don't think this game's gonna be that much longer. But yeah, today's Easter, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of a few things, and I hope the rest of you enjoy your holiday as well, guys. Happy Easter, everybody. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Hopefully you guys stick around, and I'll catch you guys at that time. But until then, see you guys. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.